Canada, as Canada have advanced out of the group stage at their first ever Copa America. Lautaro, es fuego, and hey, Chile and Peru, this is a disgrace to CONMEBOL football. Let's run the intro.
Centro para Córdoba. ¡Lautaro! Dios, ayúdame. Capricha Adrián. ¡Ahí Pachi! ¡No! ¡Sí! ¡Le pegó! ¡Chile campeón! ¡Chile campeón! Forlán. ¡Cantalo! ¡Terminó, Leo! ¡Se terminó, Leo! ¡Se terminó, Leo!
So Canada have done it, people. They have advanced out of the group stage in their first appearance at a Copa America. Not many nations can say that. Great achievement. Look, did they play beautiful football during this group stage? No. You know, it is so crazy how Canada are from CONCACAF, but they're playing CONMEBOL football. Adapting to the physicality. They're adapting to the shithousery of CONMEBOL, and it's executing well. Gotta give credit to Jesse Marsch. Jesse Marsch, in his last 4 games, and this is only what, his 6th game in charge or 5th game in charge, he's got 3 clean sheets in their 4 games. Against France, 2 goals against Argentina, a clean sheet against Peru, and a clean sheet against Chile. For all the attacking talent that Canada have at their disposal, of Jonathan David to Kyle Larin to Tejan Buchanan to Alphonso Davies, you name it, to keep clean sheets, that speaks volumes to the organization, the commitment to defending, because that is a criticism we saw heavily against Jamaica in the Nations League. We were like, where's the defense? Where is the desire to defend? Now, there's a desire to defend. Later on, maybe we'll see more of the attacking talent flourish. But for now, this is all about defending. Gotta give massive credit to Cornelius, to Bombito, all of these guys. They deserve a massive credit. And Crepo, wow. His stock is going, it's going like a prime bottle right now. So shout out to Canada. Now, what is their objective? I mean, if they're looking at Group B, and they're like, Venezuela, Ecuador, Mexico, we can beat those guys. We can. If they go up against Venezuela, very tough game. And that would be intriguing to see Canada versus Venezuela, because Venezuela are on the rise. Canada are back on the rise. That would be an intriguing matchup for them. So Canadians, let me know your thoughts. Is this one of the greatest achievements? I think this is probably a top 3 achievement in Canadian football history. Qualifying for the World Cup twice, and getting out of a group stage of the Copa America. This is not Gold Cup. Now, you're not going up against Martinique and Trinidad Tobago or Grenada or these things. You're going up against South American teams. The upper echelon of international football. Yeah, are Chile and Peru the greatest? No, they're not. And I'll discuss that very soon. But for Canada to do this, and only to score 1 goal in the group stage, hey, you know what? Shithouse your way to a knockout stage appearance. I rate that highly. There is improvements, of course. It's not been perfect. Was there controversy in this game? No doubt. Because Bombito is a very, very lucky man. VAR was probably borracho. I'm sorry, I gotta say it in Spanish. They were probably borracho. How he didn't get sent off? Yeah, okay. Was it the most deliberate of elbows? No. But clearly there's emotion. You don't just push somebody off like this. And he was going, nah, I'm sorry. That is a red card. If I was Chilean, I would be pissed off. I would be. And then, like what, 27th minute, Suazo gets 2 yellow cards. Everything that's gone wrong for Chile at this Copa America has. And Canada are off to the quarterfinals. So congrats, Canadians. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay, let's go with Chile now. Yeah, it's a disappointment, but it's not the end of the world. They're trying to develop into a new team under Gareca. But the fact that they scored 0 goals. Okay, you're going up against Argentina. The game against Peru, I was so pissed off at, because that is a game. Yeah, it's a rivalry game. It's the Clásico de Pacífico. But it has to be a lot better from Chile. And then against Canada, you're just imploding again. Yeah, okay, Suazo, it's an unfortunate 2nd yellow card. Be smart. Be smart about it. Just let Richie Laryea go. No, he decides to try and take a challenge, and with the referee and how he was acting on the night, he was going to give a 2nd yellow card. Let's start with this. Eduardo Vargas can never play for the national team again. Can never play again. Alexis Sanchez, I mean, clearly we've seen during this group stage, the legs are gone. The playmaking, It's sometimes there. I thought the game against Canada was his best game, but against Argentina and Peru, Alexis Sanchez was just abysmal. Everywhere else is fine. I'm not mad at the defense. Like, Isla was pretty good during this group stage, and I mean, he's one of the old heads of the team. Osorio, I mean, he came off in the 30th minute of the game. He was a little bit of a disappointment, but I don't think he got even a fair shout at this Copa America. I think Gareca didn't really use him that well. Davila hot and cold during this tournament. Overall, Chile just need to get rid of Eduardo Vargas. Now it is time, after this Copa America, to just go in a new direction. For the life of me, I don't get why Brereton Diaz doesn't get any minutes. The guy had, 13 minutes in this game? Alright, you need a vocal point, especially with 10 men. You need a vocal point. You need somebody who can hold up the play. Why isn't Brereton Diaz coming onto the field? Why? Because he can't say, hola, ¿cómo estás? No. Okay, maybe the Spanish factor plays a part. Bro, I get it, Gareca. If that's such a hindrance to him, then don't select him at all. Tell him, go learn some Spanish, like me, and hey, then I'll select you. But you select him, play him. Okay, Eduardo Vargas was cooking in the friendlies. What do we see in the Copa America that said, yeah, let's start Eduardo Vargas against Canada? There was no evidence. So I think Gareca needs to take some hit for those sort of selections. But overall, Chile were just not good enough. They weren't. And I think Chilenos will look at the development of the team and say, okay, we are old side. The average age of the starting 11 was 30 years old. And that's without Claudio Bravo, who didn't play in this game. If that doesn't signal to you that there needs to be some change, it doesn't need to be in the entire team. You know, we don't see Gary Medel, Arturo Vidal. But for me, it's now time to move on from Eduardo Vargas to Alexis Sanchez. I mean, Isla can still play. The guy was actually really good at this group stage, so he can still be involved. But those two, they gotta move on. So Chilenos, let me know your thoughts. Is this a disappointment? And the fact that you couldn't advance out of a group against Peru, who I'm going to talk about later, are just straight basura, and Canada from CONCACAF, and your vulnerable team. Red flags to the Chilean FA, to the Chilean media, and the Chilean fans. Chileans can say, oh, referees were against us in this Copa America. We didn't get a fair shout. I can understand that. I can understand your pain and your frustration. But you also have to look at your squad, and you have to look at your FA and say, we need to change now. If we do not change now, okay, the ultimate goal is to qualify for the World Cup. And that's a long process. We got 12 games, 10 games to go in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. But there needs to be change. But Chileans, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And Canadians, congrats. You're off to the quarterfinals. Argentina, Peru, 2-0. I mean, what did I say? Start Lautaro Martinez in the Copa America and Julian Alvarez in the World Cup. Lautaro is on fire. He's on fire right now. Did you see that first goal from Lautaro? The pass from Di Maria into Lautaro's path? I mean, sublime football from Argentina. Overall, it was a little bit of a frustrating performance. I think, first half wasn't the greatest. Second half, you just see better combination play. Obviously, it's heavily rotated team. I don't really have any takeaways from this game from Argentina, other than just Lautaro. That is simply it. It just shows that maybe they're not so dependent on Messi, and that overall, the squad is very good. And Scaloni is just a brilliant manager where everybody just feels comfortable playing their football. And the average age of this team was 29.8 years old. And we didn't even get to see that a lot of talented youngsters get selected into this national team. There is a lot of talented youngsters playing in Europe or still in Argentina. I'm thinking of Barco and these guys, Matias Sule. Argentina's future, even without Messi, I think it still looks really good. The key is to keep Scaloni. So if you're Tapia, the idiot with the stupid haircut, you give Scaloni a lifetime contract. Because clearly, if this was Sampaoli, I can guarantee you this. They would lose this game somehow. Because it's Sampaoli. Scaloni is just a brilliant manager. And Lautaro is on fire. And you need that. You don't need to rely on Messi getting the goals or somebody else or Di Maria coming up clutch. Don't worry, Di Maria will come up clutch in the final. Because he always does. But getting Lautaro in this form, the guy says, he doesn't even need to look at the goalkeeper. He's just dinking it over. That's when you know a striker is on form. And that is Lautaro right now. Put it like that, people. Put it like that. It's so nice to see, after years of just frustrating performances, to see an Argentinian side be comfortable. And even in a rotating team, a B squad, still getting the win, keeping a clean sheet. 3 clean sheets in a row. That speaks also more volumes of how good they are defensively. And Otamendi getting the start. But let me know your thoughts, Argentinians, because now I'm going to go to Peru. This is the first time since 1995 that Peru have not advanced out of the group stage. This side and this national team are finito. Listo. They're done. They have to now trust the youth. If the Philadelphia 76ers could trust the process, the Peruvian national team need to do it right now. They were pretty good defensively. I'm not actually mad at them defensively, but you can just see the midfield and the attack. It just needs help. I thought Zambrano and Cayens were actually pretty good in this game, and obviously Gallese. I mean, Gallese is a really good goalkeeper. So defensively, you know, Fossati, even though the dude is playing dinosaur football, I mean, does he have any choice? Peruvians, he has to play this style of football to get any sort of results. You're going from good football with Gareca to atrocious football with Reynoso to god-awful dinosaur football with Fossati. And I can imagine it's frustrating for Peruvians, but they don't have any choice. And yes, Fossati will take some heat. Why on earth are you starting Paulo Guerrero? Why? Why are you doing this? The guy, you're playing on the counter-attack. Okay, he can maybe hold a play. You need to have runs in behind. Lapadula is working his ass off every single game. Even though Lapadula has not scored a competitive goal, count out the friendlies, a competitive goal for Peru since 2022. 2 years ago. The attack is just abysmal. It is just straight basura, and it needs to have some new players. And if the new players flop, at least you can say, hey, they got experience, they're going up against very good, talented players. But when it's the old heads of the side, you're just like, what are we doing here? It must be so frustrating to see. But this national team, they're in for a long, long rebuild. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. So Peruvians, you have to be patient. Yes, it was great under Gareca. You qualified to the World Cup for the first time in a long time. You made the Copa America final in 2019, semifinal in 2021. But now, it's going to get rough. I'm going to tell you straight up, it's going to get... I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s where Peru I think they had like one win in the Copa America like in 4 or 5 editions. They didn't do much in the World Cup qualifiers. I think they're going to return back to that. Because when you have to rebuild and you have to trust the young players, and maybe there is some talented young players in Peru. I'm not like so familiar with the league, but this guy Grimaldo, who was in the midfield, why did he not get more minutes? Why? Why did we not see a younger striker? But you're bringing on Christian Cueva? The guy has a beer belly. And what, he didn't play for 8-9 months? Why is he playing? Why? If you're Fossati and you're the FA, did you really think to yourself, for like, man, we could really make the semifinals here. Yeah, we really could make... No! You have to also be realistic. You know, some teams we see, they're trying out the youngsters, they're trusting in the youth. And other teams are like, they're trying to hang on to their precious like it's Gollum. My precious. That's what Peru are trying to do with these old players. Now, I'm sure the big conversation with Peruvian media, Peruvian journalists and everything is, we need to play the youngsters. If they don't play, they won't learn. And they won't get better themselves. Jose Rivera, I mean, he's only, 27 years old? But at least he's younger than Lapadula and Paulo Guerrero. Had a grand total of 34 minutes at this Copa America. 34 minutes. You have to trust in them. Oliver Serne did pretty well in this game. But yeah, it's going to be a rough road for Peru. Peruvians, let me know your thoughts. I'm not shocked by this, but it's just more evidence that we can add to the file, that we can add to the dissertation. The dissertation of the fall of the Peruvian national team. We see this countless times in international football, where national teams, they just keep relying on the guys that got them that success. And of course, you should acknowledge it and say you will always be legends of this national team. But there gets to a point where you have to say, buddy, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's like the old dog. You have to put it down at one point. And Peru are now that old dog that needs to be put down. Because now it's time to say, all right, Grimaldo, to Quispe, to whichever young players that will be emerging in the Peruvian league. We got to trust you guys. Let me know your thoughts, people. Argentina, I mean, they have an easy road to the final. I'm not even going to diminish Venezuela to Canada, to Ecuador, Mexico, whoever Argentina play. Argentina has such an easy road to the final. And that fact that they're going to look at Colombia, Uruguay, and Brazil and say, we're not going to play you into the final, I think Argentina are so lucky in that aspect. And I don't really have any complaints with their side. Yeah, they could be a little bit more clinical, but every phase of the game, Argentina are just simply great. So there we have it, people. Another daily recap of the Copa America. Tomorrow, it gets spicy as we have Mexico against Ecuador. Whoever wins that game, well, at least Ecuador need a draw, will advance to the quarterfinals and most likely play Argentina. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of Peru and Chile flopping at this tournament, and what about Argentina? And Canadians, rejoice. It is now Putin over ceviche and completos. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for more Copa America and Euro content. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.